Newsmark viewers, it is a great pleasure to meet you again. I hope you're healthy and enjoying yourselves. As the Newsmark team, we continue to share with you the latest and the most important developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. Today, we will share with you the details of an important attack carried out by the Ukrainian armed forces. So, as you know, air transportation is of a strategic importance during war, and any disruption in air transportation can be a harbinger of a major disaster. Therefore, all air transportation points, including civilian airports, are always heavily guarded. These airports serve as vital insurance for the country's air forces. And recently, however, the Russian Federation has been unable to adequately protect these strategic airports. In recent days, the Ukrainian armed forces conducted critical operations targeting airports in the Russian-controlled Luhansk region. During these attacks, powerful explosions were heard and serious damage was publicly reported. In this context, the attack in the Luhansk region could significantly affect the course of the war, and the targeting of civilian airports and the military bases with such attacks reveals the weakness of Russia's air defense systems. This strategic move by Ukraine could change the course of the war. Let's analyze these developments together. Let me make a small reminder. As Newsmark team, we continue to share the developments regarding Russia-Ukraine war with you, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily reports. You can also support me and my team by using the Super Thanks button. Thank you for your support. Let's start if you are ready. Newsmark reports. The Ukrainian armed forces continue to keep their place in the agenda with their operations, and the recent succession of the attacks in many regions clearly demonstrates the capability and capacity of the Ukrainian army. These attacks, especially against strategic and critical points, have helped the Ukrainian army gain significant momentum. In order to sustain this momentum, it is vital that similar attacks continue on a regular basis. In the events of such attacks, the Russian armed forces are virtually paralyzed. What is also noteworthy in recent days is the difficulties the Russian armed forces are having in making progress. The reason for this is quite obvious. Western munitions used by the Ukrainian armed forces in their operations have a great impact. Among these munitions, ATACMS missiles are particularly noteworthy. And as I've just noted, in many of our reports, ATACMS missiles has inflicted and continue to inflict serious losses on the Russian armed forces since the beginning of the war. ATACMS missiles have a range of 310 kilometers or 4 meters high and 610 millimeters in diameter. And these missiles is one of the most distinguished product of the American war industry and provides a great advantage over the Russian armed forces. A recent attack confirms this. As expected, Russian air defense systems once again proved inadequate, and ATACMS missiles successfully hit their targets. Last month, the Russian armed forces launched a major offensive against Kharkiv, and during this offensive, the strategically important Luhansk region plays a critical role. The success of the Kharkiv offensive depends on controlling the situation in Luhansk. And for the Russian army, the loss there could be jeopardize the overall success of the offensives. Therefore, the Russian armed forces cannot afford to suffer the slightest loss in Luhansk. However, looking at the current situation, it seems that the Russian armed forces are far from reality here. This is because the Ukrainian armed forces continue to destroy critical points under the Russian control one by one with the successive attacks. In recent days, missile batteries of the Ukrainian armed forces have become active again, and this time their target was the Luhansk region. According to reports, a massive missile attack took place in the early morning, and the Ukrainian army's ATACMS missiles left their batteries with a loud bang and headed towards their target, Luhansk. When the missile reached the skies over Luhansk, Russian air defense systems were expected to be activated. However, contrary to expectation, as always, Russian air defense systems once again failed to fulfill their mission. The ATACMS missiles fired by Ukraine hit the airport in Luhansk with a huge explosion. According to information from the region, the airport was originally a civilian airport. However, it was converted by the Russian armed forces to be used for military purposes. And currently, several Sukhoi fighter jets of the Russian air fleet are reportedly based there, but their exact models have not yet been disclosed. So the attack by the Ukrainian armed forces is said to have caused serious damage, particularly to the runway. No official reports on the damage to the planes has yet been made public, but local sources believe this is highly likely, and it is reported that all operations at the airport were halted after the attack. So far, there has been no statements from the Russian occupation administration in Luhansk. Such operations carried out by the Ukrainian armed forces caused great anger among the Russian population. The main reason behind this anger is the feeling of having been deceived for years, and as it's well known, Vladimir Putin has for many years constantly instilled security concerns in the Russian people, but presenting himself as a solution to these security concerns, Putin has managed to stay in power for years. However, this illusion of fear is now in danger of disappearing. And because, as it is seen, what needs to be done to address the security concerns of the people has not been done. So this has had a profound impact on the Russian people and public, and has made the general attitude towards Putin significantly negative. Recently, experts have prepared a report analyzing in detail in the Russian public's view of Putin. And in the report, one of the Russian citizens who requested anonymity made the following striking statements about the situation. I'm really a person who supported Putin for years. I voted for him for years, and the only reason was security. I had seen the Afghan war and the Chechen war before, so I believed that our army should be strong. Even when our war with Ukraine started, I thought that we would get results from the work we had been doing for years, but it didn't happen this way. We had a disaster. None of the weapons that have been produced so far and claimed to be invincible work, and for years we have supported Putin just to produce tin. Our airspace has been repeatedly breached by the enemy, and this enemy is a small region that used to be part of Soviet Union. I can't handle it, but how can they handle so many lies and defeats? So now it's your turn. What do you think? How is the Russian public's view of Putin shaped by the economic difficulties and sanctions? And what is the impact of Western military support for Ukraine on Russia's long-term strategy? What are the implications of Ukraine attacks on infrastructure and targets for Russian military logistics? How do the recent successful operations of the Ukrainian army affect Russia's morale and motivation? How effective are Ukraine's new frontline tactics and strategies against Russia's traditional methods of warfare? Let me know in the comments, because you know that I read and I care a lot about all of your comments.